Hi, I'm Magnus Walker, and I've been obsessed with Porsches for the past 45 years. I've built, collected, driven, raced and restored quite a lot of P cars in my time. But this show is all about other people's Porsches. So take a ride along with me as I find out all there is to know about OPP.
Blame Canada. That was the title of the 000 article by Lawrence Yap. In the classic Race on Sunday, Sell on Monday way, Canadian David Deacon, whilst working at Porsche, came up with the idea of a 944 Race Cup series to help sell 944s. First came the 1986 naturally aspirated race series, offering an affordable way for amateurs, privateers and pros to go racing. With the added bonus of TV coverage and prize money throughout the field, drivers were excited and committed, and the racing was really close. By 1988, the 944 Turbo Cup added boost to the racing, with major modifications at Weissach. The 2.5-litre four-banger was now up to 250 horsepower. Brakes were upgraded along with suspension and wheels. The interior was gutted, fiberglass was added, and 600 pounds of weight was removed compared to a stock 944 Turbo. Faster, stronger, safer was the tagline. 35 cars would compete in what became known as the Rothmans Turbo Cup, with a support race on the F1 calendar. Cars were bought from Porsche at cost with a 2-year warranty, so it was actually somewhat affordable. The cars were colourful and the racing was close and competitive. And with that, a legend was born. Today I'm down in Long Beach with Gael, the owner of the 944 Turbo Cup car, and I've been lucky enough to be granted a couple of hours of access to the track. So let's go see. Tell me why you bought the car, the 1988 944 Rothmans Turbo Cup car. Why did you buy it?
I bought that car because I used to drive on a racetrack with a 944 Turbo, an 89.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean track days, huh? No racing. And yeah, in the process of buying the 89 and discovering what it was, I understood that a lot of the cool feature that that car had was coming from the Turbo Cup model. So I didn't know what the Turbo Cup car was. And after a few years driving on a track, I was like, I think I'd like to have the real deal. I'd like to own a little piece of Porsche Motorsport history. And I started looking for one.
So how long did the search take? Where are you looking for?
Well, the funny part is actually I found it not on Craigslist, but on a car platform website, and that car was for sale at the Porsche dealer in Montreal.
In what?
In Montreal.
Where's that?
Montreal.
Oh, Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal.
Oh, it's French accent.
Sorry,
it's
yeah.
like, you know, parlez-vous français? It's
exactly. So I fell in love with the livery right away, and then talking with the people at the Montreal Porsche, I discovered the car was in excellent condition, had a nice history, was driven by Jacques Bienvenu, that did very well. Jacques Bienvenu being this very weathered gentleman, partly car journalist, partly race car driver from Quebec. The whole thing just seemed too good to pass, and I just bought the car.
So it's kind of a French-Canadian French connection.
Exactly.
You're French,
There's
right?
something French about it.
Yeah, where are you from? Paris, Marseille?
I'm from Paris.
Vive la France. All right, and he was a French driver as well?
He was French-Canadian.
Oh, French-Canadian.
Close enough.
So how does this differ from your 89?
I think all the modifications have been done to deliver this authentic driving experience. And when I say driving, it's on-track driving. So the steering is different. There's no power steering. It's also really set up for fast track, suspension, so on. So the fact there's way less muffling, you know, sound damping, it gives this kind of authentic feeling when you drive it. That's what I like. Actually, owning such a car comes with
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibilities. I never felt comfortable with the idea of putting that car on a track day. You know, I would like to find the event where I would be with like-minded
individuals.
You know,
maybe time to bring back the cup race.
That would be it. I would be terrible at it, but that would be a way. No, but finding this kind of maybe classic race car events, that's on the do list. But I believe that, speaking about the fact that car has been designed to be on the track.
Talking of tracks, did you talk to this guy?
I did actually. I had the chance to call him several times. He told me a lot of anecdotes about the car, how he liked it. We even spoke of maybe reuniting.
Having him come and drive it.
Yeah, so that's something that is still possible. I think he's in Florida right now.
How many races did he do in the car, and how did he do in the championship?
So he did very well in 88.
Okay.
And 89 a little bit less. I think he missed one race, which is kind of terrible when you think that those Cup Series are only 7 races.
Did he run the whole season in
yes. 88 he did, not on 89. Well, I would say it's not necessarily the best car to go on the canyon.
Okay.
You know, like I said, the power steering would help, and also the fact it's set up for the track is not something that is extremely nice, especially its tight curves. And it's also, the suspension is quite direct, so depending on the state of the tarmac on the canyon, it's not great.
LA's notoriously bad roads. Yeah. The car does seem to be in really, really good condition. The dash doesn't have a single crack on it. I'm assuming these are the original wheels, which are mag wheels, right? 16/8s and 9s?
Yes, and I have another set that are actually pristine, never been used.
Oh wow, original mag wheels?
Yes, yes.
Now, what have you done to the car maintenance-wise?
Really not much. I mean, the car was in extremely good condition. We even did some pressure tests, and we had 150 on all cylinders.
Oh wow, you leak down compression.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, that was done in Canada at the Porsche dealer. So I just serviced it at Greg Brown's.
Okay, the 928 guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows me very well for this type of car.
He is the go-to guru for Vasicle, transaxle, front-engined P cars, right?
Exactly.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Bit of a race shoe himself.
The livery to me is the coolest part because, all those cars are unique.
Is this the original livery that it raced in?
Yes, it is. But again, it was a second car, so there were a fairly simplified version of it that was competing in 88.
Okay.
Yeah. But I love the way it looks. Just the fact that also the sponsor is about a fast delivery specialist.
Yeah.
If you read French.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was just extremely cool.
It seems pretty fitting that you got the French car. If I was going to get one, I would have to get the Reebok one with, the Union Jack on the hood and that great livery. I mean, seeing these on track, I've watched a few YouTube videos. I've watched this big Scott Goodyear film of him seizing the 88 championship at Montrabon. But just seeing all these cars really close together, gentleman racers, wheel to wheel, where the talent really is the be all and end all as opposed to the performance of the car. It's extracting the performance of the car through the talent of the driver. But what I loved about them, other than all the close racing, was how cool they all look. They look super duper cool. With that in mind, maybe we've got to go see how it is on the tight, twisty Long Beach street circuit.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So I have to admit, I've snuck onto the Long Beach Grand Prix circuit a couple of times in the past. Because, as you know, it is actually a public road. The famous Shoreline Drive, famous for Indy racers, famous for Formula One. And the section we're at right here is actually part of the epic Formula D drift course section coming into the final hairpin. That's why there's all this rubber clag laid down from the Formula Drift guys. Obviously this is the most important turn, the hairpin turn 11, coming onto the famous long Shoreline Drive where you've got to get a good exit coming out of there to carry you all the way down. And we've only got a couple of corners to work with here, but it's still, I have to admit, a really exciting moment where I'm able to kind of play around a little bit, not really getting much boost on, but really getting an idea as to how tight this track is and how tight this hairpin is coming into it right here. All the action is getting on the gas early. Unfortunately, we don't have the whole length of the Shoreline Drive to really play around with. But you can really feel how I'm working these 16 by 8 inch fronts and 16 by 9 inch rears with some Toyo R888 rubber, non-power assisted steering. It's actually a little bit of a workout rotating the car in this tight little area right here. I'll try coming out in first gear, see how that is. We got the Long Beach Police Department helping us out. We got a real favor from the race officials to allow us an hour of track time here on the Thursday before the final Long Beach Grand Prix weekend. We drove into Long Beach and we did a part of the Long Beach Grand Prix circuit, and now we're driving it back home. This is ultimately the greatest thing about this car. You know, Porsche made 192 944 turbo Cup cars. 39 of them were for the Canadian Cup Car Challenge, the Rothmans Cup car. But what's great about it is it's a piece of Porsche Motorsports history that a lot of people don't know about, that is drivable on the street. Like any 944, this is making me think, why don't I drive my 944s more often? I got an 88 turbo, or my 924 Carrera GT. You know, I'd kind of parked them and not got back behind the wheel, but this car is making me think I need to get back behind the wheel of my own water-cooled transaxle cars. Like any Porsche, you get in it and straight away it's comfortable. It's not the 911 experience, but it's a more balanced experience. And that to me, coupled with the fact that they made less than 200 of these for the entire production run, which actually went from 1986 all the way to 1990. And let's not forget, without the 944 Turbo Cup car series, there never would have been the one make series that came after it. You know, the 964 Cup, which led into the 993, and then every other Carrera Cup, Super Cup that came after it, including the current GT3, GT3R Cup Challenge series. What I really like about this car is it's not difficult to drive. The clutch is not heavy. It's a breeze to shift. The seating position is ergonomically spectacular. Visibility is great. It's easy to modulate the control panels. And it's a piece of Porsche Motorsports history that's under the radar and still affordable. It's kind of nuts that more people are not aware of how much fun these cars are, how significant these cars are, and how enjoyable they are to drive. Get yourself one of these, join the Vasica Cool party. You don't necessarily have to get a turbo Cup car. Get a 944 naturally aspirated, or if you want some boost, get a 944 turbo and really see what they're all about. These are future classics right here that actually saved Porsche in the 80s. You know, they were selling more 944s than they were 911. It was the entry-level, affordable, everyman's Porsche. Forget about that stigma that it's not a 911, that it's not air-cooled, that the engine's in the front instead of the back, that Audi was involved in making it. It doesn't matter. I always say, for me, it's all about the smiles per mile, the memorable moments, the seat of the pants feel, and this car delivers all of that, engages all the sensors. I'm super buzzed, so I'm going to press on. I'll see you guys later on down the road.